Okay, you guys, it's the moment we've been waiting for. This is another practical tactical, and this is where we're actually going to get in and create our campaign. So we've done all this work to get ourselves ready. What you see on the screen here is the checklist of everything you need. I talked about this in the last video, but if you missed it, this is everything you need before you get started. So you need to make sure you have your business manager. You need to make sure you have your Facebook business page and Instagram business account created. You need to make sure you have your pixel and conversion events installed. You need to have your 10 image variations for your ads. You need to make sure you have your audiences created. You need to make sure you have your third-party tracking code ready and your ad copy ready. And then you need to make sure you have your landing page URL, okay? So if you don't have any of these things, you can't get started, so make sure you have all these things. But if you do have all these things, we are ready to hop in. So I'm gonna do this twice. I'm gonna show you exactly what to do to set up your lookalike campaign. Remember we talked about we're gonna do a lookalike campaign and an interest campaign, okay? So I'm going to show you this twice. Most of the settings are going to be the same, but honestly, it's going to be helpful for you to see it twice anyways, just so you can know exactly what you're doing. And if you follow along and click the buttons I tell you to click, it's going to go really well, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our ads manager. So you should have created yourself a business manager. And then what we're going to do under campaigns here is we're going to click create, okay? Now this is going to pop up and it's going to tell you to choose your campaign objective, all right? So we're going to scroll down here and click sales because obviously we want to make product sales. Don't try any of these other things, just click sales and it's going to get you a lot of sales conversions, get you a lot of sales, okay? So click sales and then click continue. Now we're going to skip this. We don't want to do advantage shopping campaign. We want to do manual sales campaign, okay? Don't do that. And what it's going to do is it's going to set up, okay? So if you're not familiar with Facebook ads at all, I'm just going to briefly break down the anatomy of a campaign. So you have a campaign is the highest level, right? Then in the middle you have what's called your ad set, and then what you have is your ad, okay? So we're going to start with our campaign settings. You can see here we're under the campaign selected in blue. And very first thing we're going to do is we're going to name our campaign. So how I like to name my campaigns is I like to put the date that I launched them. So today's the 31st. Okay. And then I like to say the audience that I'm using. So we're going to be doing lookalike first. So I just do LAA, stands for lookalike. Okay. And then I like to put the product that I'm advertising. So that's going to be, for me, it's going to be the 24 for 24. Okay. And then that's it. It just helps keep it simple. It helps me identify, okay, this is my lookalike campaign versus my interest campaigns. When did I launch it and what product it's going to, okay? So always name them. Don't just leave them blank. It's important to name them so you can keep them straight. Now you're going to skip the special ads categories, okay? Unless you are a special ad. If you're a special ads category, you need to look into this. It's related to credit, employment, housing, social issues. This won't apply to most of you unless you're trying to do something with, elections or real estate or something like that. So if you are in real estate or one of those categories, you should look into it by clicking on this link. But most of you, it will not apply to. Okay. So then we move on to the campaign details. We're going to leave it at auction. And again, we already had chose sales. So we're going to keep that. We're going to keep this turned off, the A/B test. So don't touch that. And we are going to turn this on. Okay, so this is where you set your budget. This is your budget for the whole campaign, okay? So we're gonna set our budget at the campaign level. So what we're gonna do is, remember we talked about we're gonna spend $50 a day on this lookalike campaign, okay? So we're going to, where it says 20 here, we're going to put 50, all right? And that's your daily budget. There's also a lifetime budget. We're not gonna select that. We're just gonna select daily budget, all right? So that is all, and you don't need to do anything under here. It's just going to run at all times, so just leave that. So that is all the settings under the campaign level. Pretty simple, right? We're only doing a few little toggling on and off and setting our budget, okay? And naming it. So next, we're going to get into the ad set level, okay? And this is where you're going to pick your targeting and all that fun stuff. So we're going to click next, okay? We're also going to name our ad set. Now, what I like to do for the ad set is I like to also put the audience, okay? So I'm going to put LAA, we're doing our lookalike, okay? And then I like to put the ages that I'm targeting. So we target 24 to 55. That's our age group. Now, you know your target age group, so you're going to select that, and I'll show you where to select the age groups, but you're going to put that in whatever you select is going to be in your ad set name. And then I also like to put what gender, so we target women only. If you target both genders, that's okay, you don't need to put it here, but I'm just gonna say women, okay? So, named it there. Now, this is very important. You're going to select drive sales and conversions to your website, okay? You need to make sure you select website because we're gonna be sending them to our landing page. We're not sending them to an app. We're not sending them to send us a message. We're going to send them to our website. So make sure you have website selected there. It's not selected by default, so make sure you don't overlook that. Website here, okay? And then maximize number of conversions. I believe that's the default, so you want to keep that. We want to maximize the number of conversions, okay? It's going to get us the most sales, all right? Don't play with any other settings. Maximize number of conversions, and then this is where you will pick your pixel, okay? So you have to make sure your pixel is set up. So once it's set up, you'll see that here, and then you'll select it there, okay? Now it's going to ask you what conversion event you want to optimize for, okay? You always want to optimize for purchases. You don't want to optimize for, it's pretty self-explanatory, but I've seen people get it wrong here. So you want to make sure you're optimizing for purchases only. We don't care if they add it to their cart. We don't care if they add their payment info. What we are looking for is them to actually finish it and purchase it, okay? So you're going to select purchase there. And then this is just, don't have to worry about this, okay? Don't have to worry about this. I'm just going to X out of it, okay? So keep these all the same, 7 days. You don't need to worry about what any of this stuff is, okay? Now, this is very important. You need to toggle on, this gets often overlooked, toggle on dynamic creative, okay? So that is, what a dynamic creative is basically what you're doing is you're giving Facebook your 10 ad images and all your headline and primary text variations, okay? And what they're going to do is show different, they're going to create I think it can create up to 50 different ads or something like that. And they're going to show specific ads based on what they think will convert for each particular person. So you're really letting Facebook do the heavy lifting. They're the experts. They know what's up, and they're going to show the best ad to each person, okay? So you're going to just toggle that on, which is really cool. All right, this is also very important. When you're launching your ads, you always want to start them at 6 a.m. the next day, all right? And the reason for this is Facebook's going to spend all your money really quickly when you first launch, so you want it to be at a time when people are on Facebook and looking at ads so they can actually have a good chance of getting some conversions. You don't want to be launching, let's say you're launching this at 11 o'clock at night. That's not a good time for Facebook to spend the money, right? Because people are going to bed or they're going to be watching TV and things like that. So we found that you want to schedule it for 6 a.m. the next day. It doesn't matter if you're PST or EST. We just found that 6 a.m. wherever you are works the best, okay? So I'm going to schedule this for 6 a.m. All right? That's very critical. You cannot skip that step, okay? We don't need to worry about this stuff, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to select our audiences, okay? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to select your locations, so the countries that you're going to advertise in. So we do a few different countries. You can choose which countries you want to advertise to. So I'm just going to pop in ours here. Okay, so we do Canada. We do the United Kingdom. We do Australia. Okay, and we do New Zealand. All right, so we have our location selected. All right, now we're going to, I click switch to original audience options because I like to use the original settings, okay? But that doesn't matter too much. So this is where we're going to select our lookalike audiences. So if you don't have those set up already, you're going to need to go watch that video and set them up. We showed you how to do that in the audience video. So you're going to need to have them here. So what you're going to do is search your, you can see here, lookalike audiences. And it's loading. Oops. Okay, so I have a bunch in here, but remember yesterday we set up the 1, the 3, and the 5%. We're going to select the 1% first, okay? So this one's just going to be the 1%. It says it right there, all right? That's all you need to select there. okay? And then we're going to select our age demographics. So we are going to do 24 to 55, all right? Now you may be wondering, where are we going to select the 3 and the 5% lookalike audiences? I'm going to show you what to do with that right after this, okay? We're going to split them up into 3 different ad sets, all right? Because we want to test which one is getting you the best results. So I'm going to show you how to do that, all right? So we're going to select, for us, we just do women, okay? And we're not going to do anything with this detailed targeting. That's going to be the next campaign in the next video. I'm going to show you how to do the detailed targeting. But for now, we're just going to do age and gender, okay? All languages. All right, now this is very important. This is the placements. This is where your ad is actually going to show up, okay? So I know a lot of people have a question where it's like, should I do Instagram or Facebook placements? We're going to select both. And we're just going to let Facebook decide which ones they think are going to convert the best for us, okay? So they know where our audience is and they know the best things. So we're going to let Facebook decide if they should show it to Facebook or Instagram users. We are going to deselect Audience Network because this is people outside of Facebook, okay? And so we're going to deselect that and Messenger, okay? So we're just going to select Facebook and Instagram, and then you'll see even the details here, and this shows you where every placement is. So your Facebook feed is just your main, as you're scrolling through Facebook, it's just the main, this is the main one where it showed. Your Instagram feed, I'm sure you've seen ads that look like that. Instagram profile feed, Facebook Marketplace, you see ads, video feeds, Facebook right column, Instagram Explore, all these you want to keep on. Okay, Instagram Stories, Instagram Facebook Stories, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, okay. I deselect in-stream ads because that never works well for us and we're not doing videos. And I also do unselect search results, okay? So the ones that you're keeping on, just to repeat that, we're keeping all the feeds on, okay? Except for that, that one's not available right now, and we're not doing the Messenger, right? We uncheck the Messenger up here. So all of them except for Instagram Explorer Home and Messenger, and all the stories except for Messenger stories because we're not doing Messenger ads. And then we're unchecking these, unchecking this, unchecking this, and unchecking this, okay? That is very important. The placements are critical. If you don't do this right, it's going to show it to weird places that are probably not going to convert well for you, okay? So this is what we found with spending all the money that we've spent. All right, so that is your ad set level, okay? And then what we're going to now do is go and make our ad, okay? And then what I'm going to do is show you where to put the 3% and the 5% lookalike audiences, okay? Because remember, this is just our 1%. And actually, I forgot to do this, but I'm going to label this lookalike 1%. That's very important, okay? Because this is going to help us quickly see that this is a 1%. All right, so we got the 1% there. All right, now we're going to go on to make our ad. So we're going to click next. Okay, and this, I'm just going to call this dynamic ad 1, okay? Now this is very important. This is where I said you needed to have your ads created, your copy, your link, your third-party tracking. So I have my document with all my stuff. So you should have something that looks like this so you're ready to just pop it in, okay? So partnership ad, just keep that turned off. We're not partnering with anybody. And then this is where you need to, remember when I said you needed to have a Facebook page and an Instagram account. This is where you select them, okay? So I have a bunch of different pages that I manage. I selected the one for Maria and then Maria's Instagram account, okay? Now we're going to select our ad images. So we're going to upload them and then select them. So you want to click manual upload and you want to click single image or video. You want to uncheck this, okay? And then you're going to select your images, okay? So I've already uploaded mine, but you will click this upload button here, and that's where you would upload them, okay? So I'm going to go to my account and find my 10 image ads, okay? So you can see I've done tons of different variations, so I'm just going to select 10 random ones here. And you're going to have your 10. So that's 8 so far. Let's just do this, 9, 10, okay? Then you click continue. These are your 10 variations that Facebook's going to, mish and mash with your ad copy to get good ads to show to people, okay? And I like to turn the ad preview on so I can start to see where it looks, what it looks like, okay? It's going to optimize creative for each person. You want to leave this on, okay? Here it says here, vary your ad creative and destination based on each person's likelihood to respond. So that's so cool because they're literally customizing it for each person, which is amazing. Okay, so this is where we're going to do your this is where we're going to do your primary text. So I have my primary text over here. Remember I said you need to have your 5 variations, okay? So that's one, and then we're going to click add a text option. You can see here it's adding some suggestions over here, which is really cool because it'll start to learn like which ones work well for you. So, but for now you don't know, you don't have any data yet, so you're going to need to just create your own. And again, if you need more help with the ad copy, I would go rewatch the ad copy video because Marie and I detailed a whole bunch of information on that. So I'm just copying my 5 ones that I've pre-written into here. This is the last one. Okay, so this is my primary text. And then we have our headlines. Okay. We're going to add all 5 of those as well. Okay, 2 more. All right, and then we have our 1 description. It says optional, but I highly recommend you put in a description. All right. Now, this is very important where it says website URL. This is where you're going to put your landing page, okay? Remember we talked about a landing page and a checkout page. This is where we're going to put our landing page, okay? So I have my landing page URL. You should have this ready to go. Okay. Now, where it says display link, you don't really have to worry about that unless you're using a subdomain. So do you see where mine says learn.coachmariawent.com/24for24? This is what's considered a subdomain, okay? Because it's a learn dot. If yours is just like a regular like 123.com, you don't need to worry about this. Since I have a subdomain, I'm just going to make my display link the root domain, okay? So I'm leaving off all this and just getting coachmariawent.com just because it looks a little bit cleaner on the ad, okay? Now, we're not going to do any add-ons, so click none. And then I always do learn more, but the cool thing is if you want to see, so this is, sorry, you should not check that. I just did that by accident. The learn more button is the button that they're talking about here. So we're selecting what we want to show here, okay? So the cool thing is if you want to, you can test out different variations. So I have tried shop now before. I've tried sign up. Okay, so you can test and see. Through data on our part, we've learned that learn more works the best for us, but you can try learn more, shop now. That kind of lets people know, okay, I'm going to go to a checkout page, sign up. So that's what we're changing here is the button. Okay, so you can give those options and then Facebook will, again, pick the ones that they think are most likely to convert. Okay, and then we're going to have our pixel tracking, but we're also going to add our third-party tracking. Remember how we talked about how important third-party tracking is? This is where we're going to put it in, okay? So when you schedule your calls to set up the third-party tracking, they're going to give you this code, and they're going to say, hey, put this on your ads, okay? This is where you put this on your ads, right here under URL parameters, okay? So you're just going to copy that code, and now what it's going to do is it's going to track all your results from this ad, okay? You can't skip this. If you skip this part, you're not going to get that third-party tracking that we talked about. So that's very important there. So once you're done with that, you can, look around and see what your ad's going to look like. You can see variations, which is super cool. So you can see here, these are all the different variations that Facebook's going to generate and show to people, which is so cool. We have, the different image, the different text up here, the different text down here, the different buttons, right? So it's just going to really give you a lot of data on what's working and what's not. So this is what it's going to look like on Facebook mobile feed. You can see what it looks like on Facebook desktop feed. You can also see more variations here. If you want to just refresh it, it's literally generating so many variations. So it's just really cool to see what your ad's going to look like. And then, okay, so that is it. This is the whole ad creation process. So what you're going to do is you're going to click publish, okay? And it's going to schedule it for the next day. So it's not going to run right away. Your ads are going to have to make sure that they're going to get approved. If you follow what we said, you should have no problem. If you read the rules and everything, you should have no problem. Okay, but really quickly, we're not done with this campaign yet because we have to add in our 3% and our 5% lookalike audiences. Okay, so let me show you what to do with that. What you're going to do, it's very simple. The only thing you have to do is click duplicate. So you're going to go, let me just rewind for a second. You're going to go click on the ad set. So the second one here, you're going to click duplicate, okay? And you're going to duplicate the original campaign, okay? And then you're going to click number of copies 2, okay? So we're going to duplicate that. Now you can see here, we have copy 1 and copy 2, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to click edit each ad set, all right? We're going to uncheck this and edit them one at a time, okay? And we're going to edit the audience, okay? So we're going to click edit, and this is where we're going to put in our lookalike 3%, okay? So here's our lookalike 3%, all right? We select that. So you can see here it says 3%, and then we want to change the name. So let me see where to change the name really quickly. Or we might have to do that in a different spot, okay? For now, we can just keep it like that and change out the 3%. And then we're going to click make sure that it's scheduled. So it is scheduled still, okay? It's very important. And then we're going to click publish, all right? So we got that one going. Okay, and then, oh, here's where we can edit the name. So let's just make sure this is the 3%. Okay, so then just so we don't get confused, we're gonna name this 3%, not 13%, 3%, and then hit publish again. Okay, and then we also have to, that's the only thing we're changing, but we also have to just click here, okay, and also publish this, just to give Facebook the go-ahead that this is the ad that we want, okay? And then, so we have the 3%. Now we're going to go into this one and select our 5%, okay? So what we're doing here is we're building up 3 different ad sets with the same ad underneath. So we're testing which lookalike audience works the best, if that makes sense. So once these ads are running, they're going to get results for each one, and then you'll be able to see, okay, the 1% works really well. The 3% and the 5% maybe don't work as well, or whatever, you know, it's going to be different for you. Here we're going to change the name, it's going to be 5%. And then you'll be able to turn off the ad sets that don't work, okay? So keep the ones that work. It just gives you some leverage. So now we're going to select, we're going to X out the 1% here, and we're going to select our 5%. Let's see, where did we, here we go. I have so many in here. So this is our 5%, okay? Again, make sure it's scheduled for the next day at 6 a.m. You're going to click publish. And then you're going to, again, go to your ad. And like I said already, publish that one as well. Okay, so then you can see here we have our lookalike 1%, our lookalike 3%, and our lookalike 5%. Notice we didn't change anything on the campaign level, and we didn't change anything on the ad level, okay? We want to keep all that the same. So the only test that we're running here is which lookalike audience does the best, okay? So tomorrow at 6 a.m., once you publish them, they're going to start running, and you're going to start seeing people clicking on your ads, getting some sales. So this is super exciting, and I just want to say congratulations. I know this is a lot of steps. I would maybe watch this video a couple times just to make sure you're getting all the settings correct. But if you follow it step by step, you're going to do really well. And then in the next video, I'm going to show you what to do for your interest campaign.